Hey guys, so today's New Year's Eve, or the day I'm recording this. I don't know if you'll see this on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. It depends on how fast I can edit it. Um, and I know I said my next video would be about discipline, and that's coming up soon. But I wanted to record this, seeing as, it's New Year's. I've spent some time meditating on New Year's resolutions today, because it's always an interesting concept to me. I think it's fascinating. I think it's perfect. It's a great part of our culture. We set aside a day where we celebrate new beginning and we celebrate goal setting. We have that as an actual tradition in our culture with the New Year's resolution, and it's perfect symbolically because, as the new year is born, we are celebrating and making strides to be reborn ourselves. We're trying to make changes within ourselves. It's this, I don't know, I think that's a beautiful symbol as the time of the year, as the year goes by and evolves into the next year. We try to then evolve ourselves at the same time. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think it's great that it's celebrated in our culture and that we have a tradition just for it. It's just such a great thing. And not just New Year's resolutions, but New Year's Eve itself. We spend time celebrating the goodness of life. We're celebrating that existence continues, that we have more time, that the year we're celebrating the beginning of a new year. I think that's a beautiful thing. I always laugh when I see someone who claims to be a nihilist celebrates New Year's. It's just the funniest thing to me. You're a nihilist who celebrates there being a new year at all. Anyway, but that's a topic for a different time. But I noticed something this year as I was dwelling a little bit on resolutions and stuff like that, and that I didn't really make any direct like New Year's resolutions this year. I didn't sit down and write out a specific set of New Year's resolutions, which is unusual for me because normally I sit down for half an hour and do that before New Year's. And it got me thinking. And there's one problem, well, like two problems with New Year's resolutions, or at least how we treat them as a society and as a culture. New Year's resolutions as a tradition have a flaw, or multiple flaws, in that New Year's resolutions shouldn't be limited to the new year. It shouldn't be limited to New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or the following January of the new year. But the idea that we should be constantly changing and growing and setting new goals, that should be a state of being. That should be something that we internalize and are doing all the time. It shouldn't be limited to this time of the year. Like I said, I think it's a great thing that we celebrate it, but I think as a culture we treat it as this is the time to do this, and it shouldn't be something that is done all the time. You can make the same critique about Thanksgiving, for example. I think gratitude is something that is unparalleled and valuable. And I don't think it should be limited to one day of the year or one season. But again, I think it's great that we actually celebrate it as a culture. I think that's a great and beautiful thing. But I think, as I was sitting down to think about this, I think the reason I didn't make any specific New Year's resolutions this year is because, like I said, I had chosen to be in a continuous state of growth this year. And I've done that to some degree in past years, but it never even really crossed my mind to make New Year's resolutions because I've been always setting new goals this year. I've been something I've been in a constant state of doing. And I think a lot of that is because I've gotten better, not only at goal setting, but at introspection, at self-reflection. I do that a lot. I do that tenfold the amount I do it tenfold what I have done in previous years. And it's always irked me as well how our culture treats New Year's resolutions, like I said, as a once a year opportunity, or as something even worse is that it's just a fun tradition. It shouldn't be taken seriously. There's the whole meme culture of like the gyms that are going to fill up on January 1st, and then in like 2 weeks the gym is empty. It's like we got to do better as a culture, as a society, to sit down and take our goals seriously and set meaningful ones too, not just any goals, very meaningful goals. I think we can do better. I think we should be really wise and careful with how we set our goals. And we should always be doing, like I said, careful introspection to see where we ought to be aimed. When we're making our goals, we have to make them tangible. We have to make them, let's say I'm out of shape, so this new year I want to get more fit. It has to be a tangible, then I need to go to the gym this many times a week out of, however many times a month, however you want to divvy that up. It has to be tangible, but it also has to be in alignment with that broader, meaningful goal of, I want to be fit. Okay, why do I want to be fit? Because I want to be healthy. Why do I want to be healthy? Because I want to live longer, because I want to be more productive, because I want to be able to do more for my family and friends, and I want to provide for more for my partner, whatever, stuff like that. They have to be in alignment with that broader ultimate good in the religious sense anyway. And when it comes to introspection, when you're off course, you should ask yourself, you should sit down and ask yourself, where am I off course? Where am I off target? What should I be doing? What could I be doing to be better? What things am I doing wrong? If you sit down and ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? What stupid thing am I repeatedly doing? You'll get an answer so fast that it'll bother you probably a little bit. But those are the things that are the easiest to work on. So that's great. And the thing with goal setting is that as you continue to progress in goal setting, the way becomes more clear. Like, let's say my life is a total disaster and I want to start making changes and I have to start small. So you choose to start small. I could go full Jordan Peterson and tell you to clean your room. And, that's not a bad place to start. If your room's a mess, go clean it. That's somewhere easy you can start in trying to make your life better. And maybe you want to broaden that over time. Maybe you want to say, I want to have a clean room throughout this entire year. So now not only are you cleaning your room, you're cleaning your room at regular intervals. You're noticing when it gets, out of order. And you'll start to see that trend of being able to make order out of chaos and to set things in their right place. That's not just something you'll see in cleaning your room. You'll see it in every area of your life. You get better at detecting chaos in general when you get better. When you get better, and when you are setting goals, you get better a little bit at everything. Like when you're getting better at cleaning your room, like I just said, that skill generalizes into getting order out of chaos everywhere. So, it's okay to take small steps because it not only does it generalize, it also goes up exponentially. So anyway, I'm getting off topic, but it's a funny thing how perception works. And this is important when you're talking about goal setting and New Year's resolutions. And the whole idea of, as you progress towards a goal, new goals will appear. Because our perception is reliant on, it's target dependent. Let's say, as a religious man, my number one goal, my number one ideal is to be in a relationship with God and to be Christ-like as a Christian. So that's my number one goal, but that's almost like unfathomable as a goal. It's intangible, untangible. So you have to start small, like I just said. Maybe it's something as simple as cleaning your room. And as you get better at that, the next step will appear in front of you. And as you set that goal, that higher goal, the entire way sort of appears in front of you as you progress. And that's why we need goals. And that's also why we need to be constantly readjusting our goals. That's why New Year's resolutions can't be a one time of year thing. Because let's say you actually discipline yourself. Let's take another example, going to the gym, because that one's fairly simple. let's say I set a goal, I want to lose 15 pounds this year. And let's say I actually do that, and maybe I do it ahead of schedule. Let's say we're 6 months into 2025 and I lose 15 pounds. Then what happens? It's like, well, now your goal has shifted, and it has to be, maybe the losing 15 pounds goal was a subordinate goal to actually getting more fit. So now you've lost 15 pounds. Now where do you go from there? Now you have to readjust. That's why goal setting has to be constant. It has to be a permanent state of change. So anyway, that was a little more rambly than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. I only spent like 20 minutes writing this because I wanted to get it out for New Year's. But regardless of what I said, I encourage you all to set some New Year's resolutions. Even though I did say that it shouldn't be exclusive to New Year's, I encourage you to set some New Year's resolutions. I think that's a good thing. If you haven't been setting any goals lately in general, there's no better time to set some than right now, no matter when you're seeing this. Even if you're seeing this 6 months into 2025. We need goals to function because of the way our perception works. We have a target-based perception in the way we see the world. So you have to have goals. So, get to it. And as the year is reborn and made new in 2025, there isn't a more symbolically potent time than right now to set some goals. Some of mine for this year, I know I said that I didn't write any, but these are just some of the goals I've had in general for the past few months. And I have more specific goals, like sub goals of these. But these are just some of the more general, higher level goals. I want to drastically further my career or my job. I want to be more wise, honest, kind, and loving. All the fruits of the Spirit. I want to be more social. I think that's something I've really struggled with. I've been too much of a loner, sort of unintentionally in some ways, but I could do better with that. So I really want to do better with that in this coming year. I want to be a better martial artist. I've been kickboxing for, I guess it's been since summertime. It feels like it's been longer than that, man. So I want to get better at that, and I want to add more grappling in. I want to get better at that too. I want to reach a more comfortable walk around weight at like 190 to 200 pounds. I want to gain about 15 pounds. I want to read more books. I have a huge list of books to read that I haven't been reading because I've been very busy the last 6 months. And I want to make more of these videos because these are a great way of expressing ideas and thoughts, and I think they can be helpful. So, and if not, then they're just helpful for me, and that's just fine. So, what are some of your goals? Let me know if you have any in the comments. And how do you want to grow in the coming year and beyond? What do you think things are going to look like for you 5 years down the road? What kind of vision have you developed? I'm curious. Feel free to let me know. And I hope you've had a blessed Christmas and New Year's season. And I pray you all have a great 2025.